Hi team, good morning. Today we are going to discuss about yesterday continuation. So what we have completed yesterday? I hope you can able to see my screen now. Guys, can you able to hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
Shiva.
yeah.
Okay. So have you tried yesterday programs which I have given in our group?
Yes, Shiva.
Okay, great. So that you guys having some good confidence now, so you can able to do some programs, right?
Yes, Shiva. But
Yeah,
I'm not able to. I have doubt for the prime number, Shiva.
no problem. We'll discuss today,
Okay.
no problem. What will be the doubt, or do you want me to write a program to explain?
Is it? Is it better to explain for me?
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
See, sir. So first of all, we want to know what is prime number, right? What is prime number? For example, if I say the if I give the number 33, you tell me whether it is a prime number or not.
It's the prime number, I think. So.
So the 33 is divisible
No,
by 3, right?
Oh, three.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
In
Okay,
Level.
it's
Okay. Yeah. It will become level.
okay, no problem. Then if you say 29, it is prime number or not?
it is a prime number.
Okay. So 29 is the prime number, right? So now we are going to write a program for
Yeah.
it. Okay. Initially, what is prime number? The prime number is except 1 and 29. We need to check 2 to 28, right? So what we need to do is we need to divide the 29 by each and every number between 2 to, oh, sorry, 1 to 29. So if any one of the number is divided, so then it cannot be the prime number. Otherwise, it is a prime number. Am I right?
Yes, Shiva.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll create one project. So instead of giving demo, we can give. Okay, I'll give demo only. Demo. We'll finish and create. Okay. We'll create a package. Give demo. So till prime number. Okay. So till nobody have issue, right? So we can able to do up to this. Okay, then let us declare the variable number first. Int number equal to 29. We'll take the example of 29. Okay. So so initially what I want to do is I'll declare one variable boolean flag equal to false. Okay. So because whenever the number is divisible by if that number is divided by any one of the number, I want to make that variable as true so that I can able to do it. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to write a for loop from 2 to 28. That's what we have discussed. So I less than or equal to number, then I plus plus, not number, number minus 1 actually, number minus 1, because we need to take it, need to go only up to 28. So 2 to 28. So now what we need to do is we need to divide this I by this 29. If num modulus 2 equal to, sorry, not to 2, it must be I equal to 0. Okay, if this condition is matches, then it cannot be a prime number, right? So what I will do, flag equal to, I will make it true. so it cannot be a prime number. Then I want to break it, so I don't want to continue the further execution, because if no need to go to up to 28, we can find if any one of the number is matches, so that we can come out from this. Okay, so now I want to check if flag is true, then it cannot be a prime number. Prime number, else okay. Now you can execute. So 29 is the prime number. When you give 25, we can execute it. Not a prime number. Okay. Okay. So now your doubt is clear, right?
In this case, 0 to 1000. How can I validate?
0 to 1000.
Yeah.
Okay, that also we can able to do. See, the thing is that, so here also I want to do small modification, then we will go to that. Okay, so here I'll do some changes here. So you can take the example of 64 now. Okay, when you take the 64, you just divide by 2, it can able to divide by 64, right? Then when you divide by 4, then again the 64 is divisible by 4. Then when you divide 8, again it is divisible by 64. When you take 16 also divisible, 64 divisible 16. When you take 32, again the 32 can divide the 64, right? So so instead of going to up to the last number, right, we can reduce the number of execution by 2. Got it? So that if the 32 can able to divide 64, instead of going 32 to 64, not required, right? So what we can do is we can number divided by 2. So now it will reduce the number of execution by false, half. Okay, so this one I want to do it here. Okay, now so you want to check with the by 2, right, which means the 0 to 1000. So you can take the same logic. So here there is no change. Okay, here there is no change. The only thing is that we need to define it actually. So for example, I will take int, the low number is 0. So we cannot take 0 and 1. We can take low equal to 2. Then the high number is 1000. Okay. So now what you need to do is we need to write one more for loop to define. See, anyhow we need to go up to 2000, right? So what we need to do is, first we need to give this 2 to input over here. So now the low will come here. Got it? Up to 1000. So here you need to write one more for loop over here for low less than high, because we are going to increment. We'll take it low equal to 2, then low less than high, which means we are going to increase one by one. Okay, So now inside this one you can put it inside. Okay, so now what will happen? Now we will take, now the 2 comes here, now the 2 is the, so now what will happen? Now the low will come inside, then first it will come to 2, then it will come to 3, then it will come to 4, then it will come to 5. Okay, so when the low modulus I equal to 0, okay, then automatically this will comes false, we can break. Okay, so now what we are going to do is, we need to check one condition in the for the outer for loop. This is for the inner for loop, and the same thing, but before going to the outer for loop we need to write that condition. Where is the outer for loop? Here we need to check this condition over here. The condition is, will take only true part. Okay, put it here, you just remove this. Okay, now you can print the low value. Which means it must be false. Okay, if it is false, then it is a prime number. Got it?
Sure.
Okay, this is what we need to do. See, the thing is that logic is same. I did not do any changes over here. What we have done is, from I want to go to high. Okay, then which means anyway we are going to increment to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up to where 999. Okay, so the 900 and up to 919 it will come here. Then it will divide. For example, low modulus I, low in the sense it will come to, then modulus 2, then if it is modulus, then it cannot be a prime number, we cannot print it. So 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 9, 9 and 8 will go. Based on this condition it will print. We'll check this whether it is working or not. No, it's not working. Did you find any issue over here?
So I have one doubt here. So starting you gave a boolean flag equal to false.
Okay.
So anyway here we are giving value as true, right? So latest one it is going to take. There is no need of declaring on the top, right?
You are asking why you are declaring false.
Here false and again here true again. So anyway, once you explain it.
Yeah, that's fine. See, for our reference we are giving by default we are giving false. Otherwise anyhow we are declaring over here true or false over here. But the problem is here it is throwing error, because the boolean value must be defined before using it. Got it? See, before using any variable, that variable should be defined with some value.
Okay.
That's what we are giving false. Okay, so
Then we can take true also, right?
Yeah, that is our purpose only, for our understanding purpose. But then it must be false. Okay, if flag equal to false, okay, then it must be true. Now I think we will get it. Okay, we got the result finally. Okay, we did a mistake using this boolean variable actually. Why? Because what we need to do is, because every time the value we are changing, see here we are changing this low variable, every time we are changing, that is what we made a mistake. So if you declare over here, so always it's going to be true, then again so when it comes inside it will be false, again always it will be false because we are not changing before changing this value, because we need to change the boolean variable value for every value. Got it? That is what we made a mistake. So in the previous program we have done the prime number for the only one value, so that we have declared above, right? That is what we made a mistake. But what we need to do, we need to change this boolean variable value for each and every value. So that is what we need to do. So guys, got an idea, or do you want me to explain again? Anybody is there?
Can I explain again, Shiva?
Okay, let me tell you. So we want to find the prime number from 2 to 1000. Okay, so what you are doing here, 2, then 2 to 1000, then we are increasing 1 by 1. Okay, so in this area it is going to have the value of 2 to 100, 1000. Okay,
1000.
so now what we are doing here is flag value equal to true. Let it like that. I will tell you why we have done like that. So what we are going to do is we are going to take the 2 and we are going to check whether it is prime number or not. The simple idea, we are going to take each and every value from the 2 to 1000. That's it. So we are giving input to here. Then we are taking 3, we are giving input here. We are taking 4, we are giving input here. We are taking 5, we are giving input here. We are taking 6, we are getting input here. We are taking 7, so up to 1000 we are going to give. That's it. Nothing we have changed it from the previous program. So this logic is same compared to the previous, because the previous program we have given here number value. If it is if this condition matches, we are taking out from there. See, logic is same. This only one for loop we have added additionally. That's it. So our intention is we need to take each and every value 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to 1000. Okay. So first initially the low value having 2, then low value having 3, then low value having 4, then low value having 5. So we are going to check each and every value between 2 to 1000 is a prime number or not, right? So also I said, when you want to find the given number is prime, what we need to do, for example, for 2 we cannot do anything because there is only 1 2, low also 2, high also 2, then it can be a prime number. When you come to 3, low is 2 and high is 3, again the 3 is a prime number. When you take 2, when you take 5, the low number is 2, high number is 5. Okay, so again the 5 is a prime number. When you take 6, so the low number is 2, the high number is 5, so again 6 is a prime number, so not a prime number, we didn't get it. So that's what we are doing it here. When you take 7, so the inputs is coming from here, and when you take 10, again it will do up to 5. Folks, are you getting it what I am trying to say here? Still you have a doubt? So this for loop for getting input from this for loop for giving input. Okay, the input is operating over here. That's it.
Okay, Shiva. Shiva, why you have to use for the Boolean flag?
Yes, Shiva, why there is no need of use flag equal to false? No need, right?
So you want me to remove this, right? Then you come to know. So you are getting all the numbers. Now you know the use of flag. So the flag is going to tell you to check this if condition. Okay, so why we are doing here is, when you remove this, what will happen? Always flag is going to be true. Okay, always flag is going to be true, which means for each and every low we are going to get the output. Got it? When it's come to 2, it will print 2. When it comes to 3, then it will print 3. When it comes to 4, it will print 4. When it comes to 5, it will print 5. When it comes to 6, it print 6. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to say that if flag equal to false, then which means the number cannot be a prime number. Got it? So now it comes here. Now the condition is false. The number cannot print it over here. Then again we are making true because we want to avoid each and every number to printing. Got it? So you got it? You got the idea or what? Use of flag.
Actually, here if low equal to 0 only, it will enter into this, right? So otherwise it will not go into that step, right?
Which one?
So 16th line.
Okay.
Low module y equal to 0 means when it is divided by 2,
But
if we get value as 0, then it will
correct.
go into
But this if condition inside the outer for loop. You see here. This if condition is inside the outer for loop. So each and every time this if condition is going to be executed. See, we are not talking about this for loop. So if you see here, now this for loop will be ended here. Okay. So now if you see here, now you just see the unhighlighted area. Okay. Now we are saying flag equal to true. If you flag is to true, then it will print. Got it? Why we are using flag now?
Okay, sure.
Yes,
Okay. See, that's what the main use of flag. See here I am telling you the simple way of using flag, but when we are going to do automation, right, most of the time we use this logic actually. This is a best logic. See, when we want to identify any things, right, for example, initially we declare some value, then we will change it inside if the value is changing inside, so that we can able to mark it. So you follow this logic for you just understand it, and if you can able to understand properly, you will use the flag concept in most of the areas. I will tell you, the flag concept is very, very important. Why we are using this flag? Without this flag, most of the time we will fail. So always think about whenever the value is changing frequently, try to apply flag over there. Okay. So when you see highlighted area, if it not comes to for loop, what will happen? Always all the values is going to be printed over here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 1000 it will print. Okay. Now why this highlighted area? This highlighted area for finding the prime number. Okay. So when this condition is false, okay, so your point is actually valid. When this if condition is false, anyhow it's not going to come inside. That is perfectly alright. But the thing is that we are having this if condition is inside the outer for loop. You may ask, can we have this if condition over here? The problem is you cannot get the prime number itself. If you remove this, okay, you will not get the prime number. So why we are giving inside the for loop is, for each and every input we want to identify whether the given number is prime or not. That is the logic. So if you are using only one variable, right, for example, the previous example is very simple. When we say that 29 is prime number or not, right, so we know the input 29, so we need to check, we need to do only 2 to 28 whether it is prime number or not. Here the logic is completely different. So we need to find the prime number from 2 to 1000. So we need to take each and every value from the 2 to 1000. We need to take each and every value, means we need to take 2, we need to take 3, we need to take 4, we need to take 5 up to 1000. So we need to take one input. For example, if you are taking 10, again we need to do the same process. The 11, the same process. 13, same process. 15, same process. That is what we are doing here. So Always for the input you need to take one for loop, doing the operation you need to take the second for loop. So for the every input you need to say whether it is prime number or not. Okay, so before doing this problem, right, we should understand the problem statement, otherwise we cannot do it. Okay, so you guys now completely have a clear picture, right? Prime number.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Okay, so even I did one mistake while doing this, because the boolean variable by mistake we put outside. That is what we didn't get anything. This happens. Okay, I'll give one more example. I want to get even number between 1 to 1000. How will you do? I'll do one more example. Okay, I want to get even number between 1 to 1000. So simple. First we need to write one for loop to get to put input, to give input, right? So for int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 1000, then I plus plus. Okay, so now what will happen? We have given the input. So now what we need to do, we need to take each and every input, and we need to check whether it is odd or even. So this is simple compared to previous. So int I modulus 2 equal to 0. Then if it is true, then we can directly print the I value. So this is simple compared to previous. Okay, so we got now all the even numbers. Also now I want to do I want to find the 1 to 1000, whether the given number is divisible by 10 or 6. So now in this case what will happen? Again the same logic we can apply. Okay, now we are getting the 1 to 1000, and the given number is divisible by 6. Okay, so for the leap year program, do you have any doubt? For the leap year, shall we discussed? So do you have discussed previously that leap year program? Guys, I am asking you. Okay, then we'll go for the next concept, while loop. While is similar to for. Usually what we wish to write for the for loop. So we have initialization, condition, increment or decrement. So you should write statements. Okay, but in case of while loop, what we should write is while condition here statements. Guys, you need to practice more to see. Even I need to practice more, because without practice the logics will not come. So practice it so that you can able to do. Otherwise that level 1 we will face lot of problems. Level 2 we can able to easily crack, but the level 1 is only the problem, because if they give any logic program, at least we need to write some logic, otherwise it will be very complex. Okay, so the thing is that the difference between this for loop and while loop is we have only condition part inside the while loop. Okay, and what we need to do here is, if we want to make the same while loop as for, what we need to do? So before going to the condition, you need to initialize outside the while loop. So we need to do initialize. Okay, then there is a statements. So we need to do increment increment or decrement. We need to do increment decrement after the statement. Now you see the both things are same, because for loop also initialization will happen only one time. So we have done the before while loop. Anyhow, this statement is going to be executed until the condition is false, right? So now it is similar to for again. So once the statements got executed, we are increment or decrement to check the condition is going to be true or false, right? So now if you see, the while loop and for loop is completely same. So whatever the things we can able to do using the for loop, we can do using for loop also, sorry, while loop also, right? There is no difference. If you want, I will give you some programs so that whatever the programs we have discussed using for loop, right? So you can able to try to modify the while loop also. Okay, so let me write one simple program. For example, I'm having the number int number equal to 1 2 3. Okay, now I will ask you the logic. Okay, now I want to reverse this number. I want to get in the console 1 2 3 to 3 to 1. How we can get it? Do you have any idea? So this level is a little bit more compared to for loop. You tell me how we can reverse this number. I want to get the output of 3 to 1. Just you tell me simple logic, how we can able to do it. Otherwise I will write. I will write one simple logic, but it won't. It will not correct. First, let us start with that one. So while I will give you the condition later. So we have one logic, right? Modulus operation. Okay, so if you say int remainder equal to number modulus 10. So when you write number modulus 10, what will happen? We will get the remainder of 3, which means you will get that last character. Okay, so now you print it. Okay, now you print this number, sorry, remainder. Okay, so now you change it. Now what you do is you put number equal to number divided by 10. What will happen? Now this number values changes to we have declared the number value as integer, so that 1 2 3 divide. Now when you say 1 2 3 modulus 10, you will get 3, and you are printing 3 over here, and you are doing number equal to number divided by 10, which means it will give 12.3. When the declared variable is integer, it will take only 12. Again it will come inside, then again 12 modulus 10, you will get the remainder of 2, then you will print 2, then again the number divided by 10, you will get 1.2, then again the condition should be true. Then what will happen? 1 modulus 10, you will get 1, then we will get print 1, so you will get 3 to 1. Then when we divided by 2, when divided by 10, you will get 0.1. Then here now what condition we need to go? The number is now floating point, so we can give multiple conditions. So the number should be greater than or equal to 0. This condition will work. Number greater than or equal to 0. This is what we can give the condition. Otherwise we can give number not equal to 0 also, because it will when it is going to the negative number like 0 point, so it cannot be a 0 until. Also we can able to check, we can give any condition to practice this. So when you print it, you will get 3 to 1. But this logic is not correct, because we cannot do anything using this 3 to 1, because if we just printed the last character, so we need to make this 3 to 1 as 321. How we can make it? This is what we are going to do, one small thing between this one. So guys, do you have any doubt in this statement and in this statement? If you have any doubt, please you can ask. Otherwise we can go for the next step. Okay, so what I am going to do is, I am going to declare one variable called int sum equal to 0. Okay, so now what I am going to do is sum equal to, okay, what we need to do is, we need to make the whole number. So sum into 10, okay, then we need to add by remainder. This logic should work to make 3 to 1 as 321. Guys, can you able to understand this logic, what I am doing here? So simply I will tell you. So this remainder will give you first 3. Okay, so now sum equal to 0. So what will happen? 0 in return 0, then remainder is 3. Now the sum equal to 3. The first step is, the sum is 3 plus, okay, then the number equal to number divided by 10, which means you will get 12. Okay, so when you come inside, so 12 not equal to 0, the condition is true. Then again come inside, then it will say 12 modulus 10, you will get remainder of 2. Okay, so what will happen? Again the sum is 3, so 3 in return 30, 30 plus the remainder is 2, so we will get 32. Okay, so then number divided by 10, what will happen? You will get 1. So again the condition is true, 1 modulus 10 1, so the remainder is 1. Then 32 in return 320, so 322, 320 plus 1, you will get 321. So when you print outside the while loop, you will get, when you print sum, you will get 321. Okay, now what we need to do is, okay, we found this logic. Now I want to check whether the given number is what is that, we have reversed it. I want to check whether the given number is palindrome. Okay, so how to check the given number is palindrome or not? So before coming to this, because we are modifying entire number inside, so when you come out from this while loop, the number value completely changed to 0.3, okay, 0.1. So what I want to do is, I will create one temporary variable. The temporary variable, I am going to make a number. Before doing the changes inside the while loop, I am changing the value number to temp. Okay, then then I want to check over here if temp equal to sum, then it is a palindrome. Okay, else the given number is not the palindrome, not so palindrome. Okay, now we execute it, you will get not a palindrome. Okay, when you give 1 to 1, it will be a palindrome. Okay, so we have done this for numeric value. When we are learning strings, we will do for the string also. Okay, so this is the simple logic. We can go for the reverse the number, and we can check whether it is a palindrome or not. So guys, do you have any doubt in this example, palindrome? Okay, let's go for one more example in while. What we can do? Fibonacci series. I'll write one program for Fibonacci series. So what I want you to do is you need to find the sum of the Fibonacci series from 1 to 1000. Okay, so let us write first of all I want to know what is Fibonacci series. So Fibonacci series is, for example, the first two values are fixed actually. F1 equal to 0, then F3 equal to 1. So these two values are fixed in Fibonacci series. So F2. Okay. So now F3 equal to F1 plus F2, which means the Fibonacci series is sum of the last two digits, which means last two digits in the sense, for example, here we are having 0 and 1, right? 0, 1, then 1, then 1 plus 1 2, 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 2 5, 5 plus 3 8. So this is what this will be your Fibonacci series. Okay, so which means when it comes to 1, it is the sum of the last two digits. When it comes to 2, sum of last two digits. When it comes to 3, sum of last two digits. When it comes to 5, sum of last two digits. So always you need to take sum of the last two digits will give you the next flow, next digit. So this up to this you can able to do. So F1 equal to 0, F2 equal to 1 you can able to do. Okay, then what we need to do is how we can write and what will be the condition. For example, I said I want to Fibonacci series till 100,000. Okay, so now you can make the condition of while F3 less than or equal to 1000. Okay, okay, now anyhow we are going to declare F1 equal to 0, F2 equal to 1 outside the while loop. Okay, then we need to give this condition over here, F3 equal to F1 plus F2. We need to, now once it's added, we need to assign the last two digits to the previous variable. So here you need to write F1 equal to F2, then F2 equal to F3. You can mug up also, not an issue. Okay, because they will ask you this question during your level 1 interview. Okay, so what we have done is we have assigned the last two digits. What is that last two digits? When it comes to 0 1, then the next digit is going to be a 1. Okay, F3 equal to 1. Okay, so what we have done here, F1 equal to F2 in the sense, when it go for the previous execution, okay, when it go for the next execution, we need to assign it. That's what we have done over here. Once we have assigned, then it will go here. Okay, so now the F1 value is 0, F2 value equal to 1. Then when F3 equal to 1, what you will do? We used to add the last two digits, which means F1 plus F2. Okay, now F3 when it's done, F3 value is going to be 1. Okay, so when it comes to the next flow, we need to add this one and this one. How we can able to do it? Again we need to change F1 as this one, F2 equal to this one. Okay, so that's what I have done. F1 equal to F2. So F2 value assigned to F1, then F2 equal to F3. So we have assigned F3 value to F2. That's it. This is what we need to do. Okay, so we'll do the program now. I want to find the Fibonacci series till 100, right? Till 1000. We'll do that. Int that initially the value we knows that F1 equal to 0, F2 equal to 1. Okay, then F3 we need it. Okay, you can write while while F3 less than or equal to 1000. Okay, then okay, we'll make it 0 because we need to initialize before using this. Okay, F3 equal to F1 plus F2. Okay, then we need to interchange the value F1 equal to F2, F2 equal to F3. Okay, once we have added, we can print it, the F3 value. This is what we need to do. Once we have done the addition operation, you can print the that F3 value, then F1 equal to F2, then F2 equal to F3. Okay, this is what Fibonacci series till 1000, but it's going above 1597. Okay, because when you add these two digits, then it automatically will come 1597. Okay, even I got confused. 1 2. Okay, we need to print F1 also, because that also the part of the your Fibonacci series F2. Okay, so this is the basic of your Fibonacci series, but in arithmetic interview they have asked this Fibonacci series to me, but they have given the different logic. Actually what they have given is we need to find the Fibonacci series. Okay, so print Fibonacci series between he said 1000 to 2000. He said, see, questions and all. So during interview, right, what they will do is simply whatever they have in their mind, they will ask. Even we knows that what is Fibonacci series. They may ask, if they ask to sum of the Fibonacci series also, we can able to do. But the thing is that if they ask suddenly print the Fibonacci series between 1000 to 2000, it's similar to print the prime number between prime number between what is that 1 to 1000. The problem which we have solved previously, right? So we need to ready. He asked me to share my screen and he asked me to write that program actually. So these and all. We should be ready. I have 1 second. I will check whether still I have that program in my Eclipse. Let me check. That is in different laptop. So this is your exercise tomorrow. Try to print the Fibonacci series between 1000 to 2000. Okay, guys, I have attended a lot of interviews. Okay, see, I failed lot of interviews and I succeeded lot of interviews. Okay, so if you focus only on success, you cannot. So you have to attempt some failures to get to know what is their expectation. That is what very important always. attending interview will make you sharp. Okay, it's loading the Eclipse. Okay, I think I will share some programs in our group. Okay, you can try this one, and I think I have it. The Fibonacci series. No demotion test. No, I think I did not have test. Okay, no problem. Okay, so I will give you, try to find Armstrong number. Do you know what is Armstrong number? Armstrong number. Try to write that in using while loop. We have done palindrome also, right? Reverse number palindrome, and you try to do sum of the number. Practice it. Without practice, nothing will be possible. Sum of the number, Armstrong number, Fibonacci series. Write factorial also. Factorial. Okay, you try 4 programs. Okay, I think this one will make you more time to solve this. So this and all, I'll tell you what is Fibonacci of Armstrong number. When you say 153, which means 1 star star 1 star 1 star 1 plus 5 star 5 star 5 plus 3 star 3 star 3 will give you 153. This is called Armstrong number. Okay, so which means you need to take each and every number. You need to take each and every digit from this 153. You need to multiply by you need to multiply 3 times. Then you need to add it. Then you will get. Then you need to add all those things. You will get 153. This is your Armstrong number. You try to do all those 3 programs. Okay, if you can able to do it. If you cannot, we will discuss tomorrow in our class. Okay. Okay, guys. Thanks for attending. If you have any doubt, you can ask. You have any doubt? No, right?